A tale of triumph and tragedy, once a sprawling empire of boundless dreams and insurmountable ambition, a testament to the sweat and toil of its valiant citizens. From the humblest of miners to the mightiest of leaders, all were bound by a common purpose, to forge a legacy. But as Ibraria's borders expanded, so too did its ambitions, its aspirations reaching beyond the grasp of reason. Power, once wielded for the betterment of the realm, began to corrupt. Alliances that once stood as unbreakable pillars crumbled, and the very core of Ibraria began to fracture. As the shadow of darkness crept across the once glorious nation, the symphony of victory was replaced by the darkness of defeat. Betrayal and treachery cast a long shadow upon Ibraria's land. The nation that stood tall, a testament to resilience, now faces its reckoning. A reckoning that would result in the collapse of one of the most powerful nations. This is the complete story of the nation of Ibraria. Located far south on the map was a jungle, which would prove to be both a canvas and a challenge for the visionaries of Ibraria. The founders of Ibraria gathered on this beach where they would begin to construct a village, and shortly after building this village, the nation of Ibraria was officially created. Every nation is built upon the foundation of its people, and Ibraria was no different. Hello everyone, as your leader, I would just like to say that Ibraria will be built with the people in mind. I will listen to everything you say. I will make you feel safe. I will even go to war for you. Yay, okay. And I'm also going to steal literally everything you own. Wait, what? Oh, nothing. Just talking about how nice this wall looks. I painted it myself. You painted that? This is the ugliest color I've ever seen. It looks like it's brown. That was a good one. Color is really I'm dying of I should know because I'm a doctor. Gross as my wife. I didn't know you had a wife. I hate all of you. As Ibraria's borders expanded, so did its complex hierarchy. At the foundational level was the citizens, those who formed the backbone of the nation. Citizenship came with the duty to serve in the Sultanate's defense army, where players set to protect their homeland. Above the citizens stood the Sultanate's private army, an elite force composed of the most skilled and trusted individuals within the nation. The next level on the hierarchy featured the architects, skilled individuals who crafted the cities that housed the population. Their role was crucial in maintaining the delicate balance between the people's well-being and the nation's progress. And at the highest level of the hierarchy was the government, made up of different ministries. But at the highest level of the government was the Prime Minister. Karmic would be elected as the first Prime Minister. Their job was to lead the nation's governance, oversee the collective efforts of the ministries, and present the voice of the people to the Sultan. However, rumors had begun to spread that the Prime Minister had aspirations beyond his appointed role. Whispers that he wanted the throne. The Sultan knew of the Prime Minister's secret ambition. However, he returned his focus on expanding Ibraria's influence globally. The Sultan headed off to the nation of Austmacher, hoping to form a relationship between the two nations. The two nations eventually signed a treaty stating that Ibraria would break all ties with Mercenta, and Austmacher would be the holder of the world market, and in return, Ibraria would get free access to the market. The Sultan would then head over to the Isle of Anchors in hopes of building relations with them and hopefully getting some support to help with the world market. However, the atmosphere quickly grew tense when the Sultan's words turned sharp, criticizing the island's lack of resources and its lack of global engagement. A collective unease settled among the leaders of the IOA.
Basically, as I control the seas, that's for real.
Control the seas?
I do now.
Witty. Do you hear this?
Okay, we have better resources than you, and you have better resources
what
than us.
Heck?
That makes sense. That makes sense, right?
You think you could just walk onto our island and just start insulting us? I didn't get scurvy for nothing.
That's what I think would be good. Having a shopping area for everyone, where we could sell anything we want from our own areas.
That's actually crazy because me and Woody have been talking about.
Yeah, we have been talking about setting up our own trade.
Yeah, so we kind of have been in contact with local sellers, and they've already agreed to come to our island right off the shore to create a form of world market, if you will.
Who are those settlers?
They've requested to be anonymous.
Yeah, we plan on setting up our own little trading area that we will not be profiting from. but
don't-
the people that
And don't let Woody underplay it. It's not going to be little.
it's okay. It's going to be very big.
Ours will be bigger. Trust me. Ours will be
Well, it's not about the size all the
it's-
time. What the Sultan had intended as a passionate plea for cooperation was perceived by the IOA as an attack on their sovereignty. The Sultan's verbal attacks, though unintentional, had kindled a spark of anger. Both sides passionately defending their visions of the world market's future, and as words failed to bridge the divide, an audacious solution was suggested. The IOA and Ibraria would face off in a battle to decide who would get the world market. The Sultan would return to Ibraria fearing of a defeat. The nation of Ibraria quickly started to get prepared, getting armor, getting weapons, and building a boat. Then, a few days later, an IOA vessel was spotted off the coast of Ibraria. The Sultan ordered the Ibrarian army to get ready, and they sent out their vessel. The two ships met about 80 blocks off the shore, and shortly after, the two ships opened fire.
Guys, get away! You. Wait, I already died.
As the battle raged on, disaster struck both sides. The relentless barrage of cannon fire led to both ships sinking. However, it was the aftermath that would define the outcome of the battle. The IOA's flagship sank with the entire crew on board. In contrast, the Iberian Navy, while suffering significant losses, managed to salvage a greater portion of their crew. The IOA had no choice but to surrender, conceding the world market to Ibraria and Austmacher. The next day, the nation of Ibraria celebrated the victory. Streets filled with players, and the air was filled with cheers and laughter of citizens celebrating their newfound status as champions of the sea. However, as the celebration continued, a sense of complacency and overconfidence began to take root within the hearts of the Ibrarian people. The atmosphere of constant celebration began to permeate all aspects of Ibrarian society. People becoming too busy with festivities, and the normal routines of daily life took a backseat to the Ibrarian society. Oh god, I'm gonna be sick. Too much partying. Just hang in there. I'll help. Oh no. Oh god. Hey, don't you think all this partying might have some bad consequences? Not at all. Ibraria is on top and nothing can stop us. But don't you have like responsibilities to get to? Nope. All I do is party. You literally have a wife and a child. I haven't seen them since we won the battle. What? The overconfidence that had been born from the victory of the ship battle led many to believe that Ibraria's success was guaranteed in all endeavors. As the celebration stretched on, the consequences of this negligence began to manifest. Essential industries faltered due to a lack of work. Agriculture production dwindled, leading to food shortages. The initial economic boom driven by the victory was eroded by the widespread attitude of complacency. The realization struck hard when the nation's economy began to show signs of strain. The reality of the situation was harsh. Victory on the battlefield did not guarantee perpetual success in every aspect of life. Looking for new ways to get the economy back on track, Ibraria annexed the nation directly north of them called Tombthorn. This would bring in new resources and new players. However, it would not be enough to revive the economy, and this made the nation of Ferdinand very upset. But we'll get back to them later. Still looking to revive the economy, a sinister plan was hatched by none other than the Sultan himself. This scheme involved the creation of a puppet nation. This puppet nation was named Solistinian Ibraria. Under the disguise of expansion and colonization, waves of Ibrarian citizens were dispatched eastward to settle and establish this new nation. At first glance, Solistinian Ibraria appeared to be a fledgling land of opportunity. The Sultan's propaganda machine painted a picture of success, growth, and self-sufficiency, all under the vision of an independent nation. However, the truth was far more insidious. The Sultan intended to use this puppet nation as a means to exert pressure on other nations. The design was to get foreign powers, fearful of the economic leverage Solistinian Ibraria seemingly possessed, to offer substantial financial aid to ensure their continued access to the puppet nation's resources. The influx of resources from the Solistinian Ibraria was slowly bringing back the Ibrarian economy, and other nations noticed. The nation of Mercenta asked Ibraria for an alliance, and Ibraria agreed, which went against the treaty Ibraria signed with Austmacher. However, Austmacher was unaware of this new alliance. For now. Ibraria then noticed that tensions between the IOA and Nevlon began to heat up. Ibraria attempted to get involved in this conflict to gain power in the region, but this made the IOA and Nevlon very upset, and they declared war on Ibraria. This caused a crazy chain of events that nearly caused a world war, and during this crisis, the alliance between Ibraria and Mercenta became public, and Austmacher was very upset. But after tensions cooled and the world war was avoided, Austmacher demanded that Ibraria's new Prime Minister Bronzebear be put in full control of the nation. But wait, what happened to the last Prime Minister? Well, after his term was up, Ibraria held an election for a new Prime Minister, and the Sultan himself ended up rigging it to prevent Karmic from winning again, as he still feared Karmic wanted to take full control. The Ibrarian population was upset as they had feelings that the election was unfair. But after Austmacher demanded the new Prime Minister be put in charge, the Sultan refused, and realizing that the Ibrarian citizens were upset, the Sultan reformed Ibraria into a socialist republic. This change would cool the tension between Austmacher and would help bring back patriotism within the citizens. However, this change to a socialist republic secretly gave the Sultan more power over the government, which was not liked by the members of the government.
How
This is
can you do
outrageous.
this?
It's unfair.
I am so upset right now.
Slowly, trust was lost within the government, and people of Ibraria began to notice. The tension between the Sultan and the government grew even more when the Sultan decided to ally with Mercenta again after everything that just happened. The dark shadow of a revolution began to loom over Ibraria. Then, Verdunel gave Ibraria an ultimatum. Either Ibraria gave Verdunel the Tombthorn land, or Verdunel would declare war. Ibraria, feeling invincible, denied their request to give up the land, and the stage was set for a war. But before the war could start, a dark truth was revealed to the Ibrarian people. The Sultan, trusted leader of Ibraria, has been stealing wealth from the members of government and from citizens. Outrage grew within the government, and suddenly Ibraria found itself in the middle of a civil war. Verdunel, then fearing that a new government could make getting the Tombthorn land harder, decided to step in and help the Sultan defend Ibraria from the rebels. Fighting broke out, and many players not fighting in the war fled the nation. But after a while of fighting, Verdunel and the loyal Ibrarian citizens were able to defeat the rebels. However, what was left of Ibraria was a mess. The population decreased to just 8 players, the government completely divided, and the people in the puppet nation abandoned Ibraria, becoming independent, causing Ibraria to fall back into an economic crisis. The dark deeds of the Sultan finally caught up with him. With the nation on the verge of total collapse, the last thing the Sultan did was give up all the Ibrarian land to the nation of Valhalla. And finally, while living in exile, the once Sultan was captured by Austmacher soldiers and brought back to Austmacher, where he now finds himself in chains, kept away from society in his cell, marking the end of an era and the start of a new beginning. What began as a flourishing testament to unity, culture, and strength evolved into a cautionary tale of unchecked ambition. The Sultan's sinister moves, shrouded in manipulation and greed, the legacy of Ibraria's downfall teaches us that no nation, regardless of its past glories, is impervious of the corrosive effects of internal strife. The tale of Ibraria stands as a testament to the enduring power of human choices. It is a reminder that the arc of history is shaped not only by the grand events, but by the everyday decisions made by leaders and citizens alike.